Okay, so friends, let's start with our next session. That is how to create the raml specification file. Raml specification means API specification. So in our previous sections, we talked about what is API. So as I told you that API is a software which allows two systems to communicate with each other. But what is API specification? So API specification is it defines that how API will behave while communicating with another system. How it will behave means what kind of response it will give when it will communicate with another system. Like it will give you the data, it will give you some kind of error response or some successful response, some kind of message. So this is API specification. We can create API specification and HTTP specification using raml. Raml is a YAML based language. You can say it is a language which is used to define the characteristic of every RESTful web service or RESTful API. So let us start using creating a API specification. For that, you have to log into your Anypoint platform first. Sign in with your credentials. Click on Start Designing. Go to Create New. From here, you have to select New API spec. Give the API title, like you can give your own name here. Create API spec. So this is the window to create a new API specification. In this window, left-hand side is known as the file browser. In this file browser, all the files and subfiles related to your projects will be there. This middle part is known as the editor, where you will be editing your API specification. This below section here, if you will place the cursor here, you will see this below section. This is known as the shelf. Here you will get the suggestions for your API editing. Like no need to type again and again the things. You will get suggestions. And this right hand side is known as the API console. Whenever you will add any HTTP request method or any endpoint, those endpoint or request methods will be appeared here. And you can simply run your API from API console. There is no need to go back to Postman and again. So let us start creating the API specification. So from here, we want to create the API specification. In our first or second session, we run the API using the postman of flights. Okay, and we were getting different kind of responses, like we were getting the flights data according to the particular destination and particular ID. So we are trying to make same kind of API specification. Let us start creating. Keep the line number 3 blank and keep the cursor in line number 4. Give / and here type flights. So this flights is the endpoint, and every endpoint is started with / sign. If there is a red line under any resource, it means there is an error. So here give colon. You can see error has been gone and your API endpoint flights has been created. Press enter. Now let us specify the get method under this flights resource. You can see get method has been specified. Give backspace. One more method we have to specify, that is post. So under flights resource, we have specified two methods, get and post. Keep the line number 7 blank and come to line number 8. We want to create the another endpoint now. So first endpoint was from here now. So we need to keep all the endpoints under the same indentation, means under the same level. So another endpoint must also be in the same level as that of line number 4. So in order to create endpoint, first we have to give the /. This time I will enclose my endpoint in curly braces. I will give the endpoint name as ID. Come outside the curly braces and give the sign of colon. So why this time I am enclosing endpoint inside the curly braces is this endpoint is the nested resource. This resource ID resource is the nested resource under flights. That's why I have enclosed in curly braces. You can see this endpoint has been created. Press enter and select get method. The next thing is when we run our API last time using Postman, so we were getting the response from different destinations. We were passing the destination as a query parameter. Remember? So similarly, here we have to specify the query parameters. Sorry. Keep the cursor at the end of line number 5. Enter query parameter. Give the query parameter name. What was the query parameter name over there? It was destination, na? So type destination. Colon. Enter. Select required from the shelf and give it value as false. When we will give its value as false, then it means it is not required every time to pass the destination query parameter. But if rather than keeping it as false, you will give its value as true, then your URL will not be able to run without passing the query parameter. That's why I am giving its value as false. Now, select enum from the shelf. Enum means enumeration values. You can say some constant values. So what were the destinations at the time when we were running our URL? It was sfo hyphen flags cle. So these were our 3 destinations. Let us see if we were getting the response accurately or not. Means we were getting 200 OK response or not after running this. So in order to check your code from here in API console, select flights get method. You got this URL, click on try it. You can see here we are getting the option of optional parameters. It means it is an optional field, as we set the field of query parameter as false. So it is an optional field. It is up to you whether you want to set the query parameter or not. Click on send. See, you are getting 200 OK. Similarly, go back to documentation, select the post method, try it, and again send the request. Whenever we will use the post method, which response do we get? 201. Okay. So here we have not specified, na? That's why we are getting 200. Okay. When we will specify under the post method 201, after that we will get 201. Again, go to ID, select the get method, click on try it. Here it is saying as URL is invalid, means we have to specify some ID, say 2. Send the request. Again, we got the response 200. Okay. So I think each and everything is clear to you till here. Now, what if we want to run our URL using Postman? So for that purpose, let me open the Postman also. For that purpose, click on the smoking service configuration in order to create the link, make it public, set the expiration date, copy the link and paste it to Postman. Open the new tab here, paste. You have to give the endpoint. What was your endpoint? It was flights, na? So give flights / flight. Send the request. Getting 200 OK response. See, here we are getting 200 OK response only, but not getting any kind of message. Why so? Because we have not specified any kind of example message here. We just specified the 2 endpoints, flights and ID. After that, we specified HTTP request method, get, post and get. Then we specified the destination as a query parameter and its enumerations values. Now in the next step, we have to add request and response details. So in order to add request and response details, what we will do? First, let us close this. Okay. So for that, you have to go to here, exchange dependencies. Click on add exchange dependencies. Here in search bar, type training. From here, select second and third file. These 2 files contains, one file contains data type, another file contains flight example that we are going to add. Okay, so you can see, click on file option, expand exchange modules. Here, these two files has been added. So first of all, let us have a look on this example data type. Whenever we have to specify any kind of response in computer language, first we have to specify its data type, that what kind of type is going to be of our data. So you can see, if there will be an ID, then ID type will be of integer. Code will be of string type, price will be of number type, departure date will be a string, order will be a string. So this is how we have to specify the data type first. Now, we have to add this data type file to our root file that we are creating. This is our root file. In this root file, we have to add this. So what we will do, click here in the options menu near American flights data type and copy its path. Go to the root file. So let us specify the types. Place the cursor at line number 3. Keep it blank, come to line number 4, and from here you have to select from shelf select types. You can give type name anything. Suppose we are giving American flights. Colon, space. Here you have to include the statement, include and control V. So this path has been added to our root file. Now in the next step, what we have to do is, in the next step, we will add the response, example response for the flights get method. So in the file browser, I will show you the response. This is the example response that we want to add. So basically, this is the response that I want to get after running my URL in the Postman or in the console. So, but before that, what we have to do is, we have to specify the get method to return an array of American flight object. So come back to your root file. This is our root file. Here, place the cursor after CLE, press enter, and come to the indentation as that of query parameter. This means at the same level as that of query parameter. Here you have to select examples from the shelf, sorry, responses. Then 200, body, application JSON, type. Our type is American flights, and give the sign of empty array. What does it mean? It means whenever we will run our code or our URL, in response, we will get 200 OK status code. Body type will be of JSON format, and the type we have specified here. American flights we have given us. So this is American flights type, whose path we have included in our root file. So now let us add an example response for the flights get method. So in file browser, open this American flights example. As I told you that we want to add this particular file. Again, you have to copy the path. Come back to your root file. After this sign of empty array, press enter. From self select examples, here you have to give a key called output, colon, space. Again, the include statement, and paste the path. Done. So let us see if we are getting the response or not. From here, click on documentation icon, select flights get method, click on try it. Before, we were getting only 200 OK response now after sending the request, but this time we must get the message as well. So let us see. See, here we are getting 200 OK response and the message as well. So this is the same response that we have added from here. See, this is the same response that we are getting. Okay. So this is how we can add an example kind of response to our raml file. This is the method to specify a raml file. So as we have specified the flights get method, similarly, we will specify id get method and flights post method. So let us end up the session over here. We will do we will specify another methods in our next session. Bye-bye.